At the time of writing this, I will be a new dad in about a month. If you have kids, you know just how much anxiety and overthinking it creates. And if you don't, it's a lot. But one of the things that I'm most excited to share with them when the time comes is my favorite medium of escapism, video games. All of the characters, couch co-op, teaching her how to lose gracefully in Mario Kart. And for me, it's not just about the gameplay, but all of the stories that I get to pass on and share with her generation. The art of telling a good story is one of, if not the oldest traditions that we're able to pass down generation to generation. And video games are just the newest art form to carry on that tradition. The Greeks especially were masters of storytelling, holding up a mirror to humanity, telling grand stories of gods and monsters, often with the purpose of teaching us something about ourselves. Seeing larger-than-life characters, it's easier for us to see the negative effects of emotions like rage or revenge, and what it can do to the people around us when someone else is going through it. And maybe, after finishing a good story, we can walk away just a little bit better than we were before. Not that I need every game I play to teach me something about myself, but I find it fitting that one of the games that unexpectedly hit me like a ton of bricks featured gaming's most popular depiction of a Greek myth, Kratos, in the God of War game released in 2018, and its sequel, Ragnarok. Although a little more loyal to Zeus in Greek myth, Kratos in the video game series is known for being just as brutal. He was a warmonger in ancient Greece, killing not just armies but innocents who chose other gods in the name of his chosen god Ares, until Ares tricked him.
In the service of a cruel god, I was tricked into destroying a village, not knowing my own wife and child were there until their blood stained my hands. I swore revenge.
I can't imagine.
I paid back their blood 1,000 times and burned Olympus to the ground.
The first 6 games in the franchise were all about vengeance, over-the-top violence, rage, as Kratos rips and tears through the Greek pantheon. Picking up God of War in 2018, I was expecting really more of the same. Not too deep, just something to play at the end of the day and turn my brain off to. But what I was not expecting was at the center of all the memorable characters, adventure, and monumental scale was a story of a father on a journey with his son to fulfill his wife's last wish, and an older Kratos, just trying to be better. While the concept of fatherhood is explored in Greek myth at length, it isn't really a concept seen all that much in video games. There are characters who happen to be dads, sure, but rarely has fatherhood ever been so at the core of a game's identity, and offered me something completely new when I replayed them earlier this year. Kratos is cold.
Anybody need a snack? Kratos? Snack?
I do not need a snack.
But noticeably slower to anger than previous entries. He's not the never-ending rage well that he was. We get the sense that he's actually ashamed of his past, after years of war and brutality.
There's nowhere you can hide, Spartan. Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing.
And after years of running from his old life, he met a woman, Faye.
Gonna make me pick that one up? Good boy.
And had a child, Atreus. And he's determined to keep his history and the fact that he's a god away from his son, fearing that he could end up just like him, knowing how corrupt most gods can be and what the addiction to power and rage can do, not just to yourself, but to the people around you. Towards the beginning of the game, Atreus misses while tracking a deer and lets it get away. After apologizing, we see Kratos start to overreact, but keeps it under control and says,
What are you doing? Now his guard is up. Only fire. Only fire when I tell you to fire.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
Do not be sorry. Be better. At first, I thought that's a great saying to keep in the back pocket for my kid. It doesn't come across as out of anger or frustration, or like he's talking down to his son. It's implying that words can mean little compared to actions. Kratos isn't just giving his son a command, he's giving his son a charge. Sorry is just a word. Show me. Be better. Naturally, it starts making me think about my relationship with my child who's almost here. While I'm not a warmongering god, I'm definitely not a perfect person. I mess up all the time, and in spite of my best efforts, I will keep messing up. I worry about how my kid will look at me in situations like this. Will I overreact? And already I worry because that's the last thing I want or any parent wants to do. It's so easy to start spiraling from there, thinking things like I'm never going to be good enough, I can't be good enough. In what ways am I going to mess them up? What in the world am I going to do? Am I preparing enough? Will they listen? What if they don't? I have no idea what I'm doing. What if she hates me? I'm going to fail. I'm not good enough.
Have you nothing to say to your son?
What would you have me say, Faye?
Anything. Let him learn your voice. Let him know you.
He is far better off knowing as little as possible.
Knowledge is not always a burden. Think. The mighty god of war, frightened of his own child.
I do not fear our child, Faye. I fear for him. He is innocent.
We are not our failures. We are not who we were. We must be better.
Oh. Have you ever heard something and just had to stop? That's for me. This game isn't just about good sayings to pass on to your kids. It's about how to be a good father. Concepts like controlling your emotions.
Power of this weapon, any weapon, comes from here. But only when tempered by this. By the discipline, the self-control of the one who wields it. That is where the true strength of a warrior lies.
I have a responsibility to be better than who I was. Better than who I am. But it's not enough to be better than I was yesterday. I have to be better tomorrow than I am today. And the day after that. Which leads me to one of my favorite moments in both of the games, and a concept found throughout history. At a certain point, you come across Jormungandr, the World Snake. The scale that Santa Monica Studio was able to pull off here is just incredible. In Norse mythology, the world snake is so huge that it wraps around the world and bites its own tail, often being depicted in the form of an Ouroboros. This symbol of a serpent eating its own tail is found throughout history and in many different parts of the world. It represents infinity or a never-ending concept. In the case of Jormungandr, it represents Ragnarok, and the end of days started by the final battle among gods. But what people tend to forget about the end result of Ragnarok is that it's a rebirth of the world. To me, the Ouroboros is a reminder that the journey of being a man and a father is continuous improvement. This concept of continual improvement with no endpoint in mind seems exhausting, and I think it can be easy to rest on your laurels. It reminds me of another Greek myth, Sisyphus, the king of Corinth who cheated death and was punished by Zeus. who made Sisyphus push a boulder up a hill only to make him start over once he reached the top. In a never-ending cycle, forever. It's a brutal punishment often referenced when a job seems impossible or never-ending. While doing research for this video, I came across the essay, The Myth of Sisyphus. The author argues that one must imagine Sisyphus happy. I can't look at improving on who I was yesterday as a chore. I have to lean into it, make it a part of who I am. Life can be reduced to a series of struggles, and if our ultimate goal is to try and be comfortable all the time, you may find contentment, but I don't know if I could have ever truly found fulfillment. Once I decided consciously to make improvement a goal, to be better a goal, it strangely gave me some comfort and purpose. I feel the writers of God of War kept in line with the storytelling traditions of ancient Greece and held a mirror up to me, when I was not only receptive to it, but needed it. I have this little thing that's relying on me now for survival, and being good enough suddenly isn't good enough. I'm still going to fail, I'm sure a lot. But for her, I will keep getting back up after those failures, and happily push this boulder up the hill.
A lot of this performance, for me, is a love letter to my kids. It's an apology.